Do you think that any of these variants could impact doctrine in any kind of meaningful way?
If the question is there any Christian doctrine that depends solely on a disputed text, then the answer is clearly no. And even more skeptical critics, when they're honest, will quickly acknowledge that. People may say something like, "Oh, look, First John has this." Chapter 5, verses 7 and 8, this reference to the Trinity that was there in the King James, but not in any modern translation of the Bible. All the modern translations must be liberal. Well, no, all the oldest Greek manuscripts don't have it either. Some very pious scribe came along, and in that case, centuries later, before that was added. So, does that impinge on a major Christian doctrine? Yeah, it does, the Trinity. But are there any other passages that teach the Trinity if we don't have that one? Yeah, dozens. So it's not any kind of a threat to say that probably isn't what John wrote.
Yeah, and so here I think you're referencing First John 5:7-8, the Comma Johannium. I think it ended up finding its way into the Latin Vulgate, if I'm not mistaken. Are there witnesses in the Vulgate?
That's right. It was in the Latin text a long time before it was in any Greek manuscript. There's a very famous story about Erasmus, the Catholic reformer, about half a generation before Martin Luther and the Reformation, who left it out of his best attempt at a critical Greek edition and got so much flack from his Catholic superiors that he rashly vowed, if you can produce one Greek manuscript, not Latin, that has it, I will include it. And surprise, a guy came back not very long afterwards with exactly that document, with all the signs of it having been doctored, but Erasmus was true to his word. He put it in there. And if all you've ever seen is a King James Bible, you would never know it was an issue.
Yeah, right, right. So in that particular case, it's likely that the Greek manuscript was not authentic.
Correct.
Yeah. There's some fascinating cases, I think, even with the last few verses of the Book of Revelation in the KJV, and how that was just completely inserted into the text without any kind of manuscript witnesses, if I recall correctly.
Well, the other big one, referring to endings of books, is the 12 verses that have become known as Mark 16:9-20, which personally, since they include promises like picking up snakes and drinking their venom without being harmed, I'm glad I don't feel bound to say that is inerrant authoritative scripture.
There's a whole bunch of Appalachian preachers, right? The snake handlers who probably, would be
West,
upset if they found out that
West
that was not.
Virginia is still the one state in the union where it's legal to have snake handling in church.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, because of that. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and if you want to support the channel, visit patreon.com/Reason and Theology.